Hello and welcome to tonight's Get in Tune. I'm Michael Gracia, and I got a really fun show planned. I have a returning guest. KJ Murphey is coming back, and his writing partner, um, John. Let me say get it right. Escobales is here too. They're talking about their third issue of Road to Valhalla, which I will talk about their Kickstarter later and put the post in there. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to talking to them because I love I love this story here. So let's bring them on. Hello,
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
hey.
how you guys doing? You know what? Don't worry about. You know what? If you want, I'll go back to the other layout so you're both in the shot. You don't have to be on top of each other.
All right,
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
We do a lot of cons together. We're cool either
Yeah,
way.
we
Yeah.
share hotels together.
Yeah. No, I haven't done a show in a while. My next show is actually, guys, November 5th. I got to get the city, but it's in New Jersey. It is Pulp Adventure Con, and I will be at the Pulp Con there. Where is it here? They've been on the show. The people who published the Zorro's Exploits, which I
Yeah.
got to illustrate a couple of stories in. Bold Venture Press is putting on the show, so I will be there. I will have some prints and original art of, my stuff. Um, so, and they may be back on to talk about the show. We'll find out. Let's see. So, again, thank you guys for coming on. It's actually been a while since I've talked to you, KJ. John, I don't think we've ever really had the chance to talk, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, before we get into your project, how about you guys just kind of give us a brief overview of who you are, your work, stuff like that. You don't have to go into like when I was with KJ the first time and we started talking about like the comics of your childhood and what inspired. But tell us about like who you are and what you do and then we'll get into your very fun looking comic.
You want to go first?
No, you go first. You're better at this stuff.
Oh, yeah, but my energy is dwindling. KJ Murphy. Been doing this since professional side of things since 2000. Yeah,
Okay.
and started the Comic Book Artists Guild group, and that ran for about 10 years before I stepped down from that, and I started doing Guild Works publications, pretty much getting involved with Hector Rodriguez and myself making Hell's Blood for a while, and then
Okay.
got finally around to doing my own book, Torn, which is a Wendigo curse, and that was sort of the prequel to what led me to working with John on Road to Valhalla. But I met John probably around the early CAG days, and he was kind of in a bunch of circles and kept bumping into John, and that's sort of how we met. And we worked on some anthology books together, and yeah, so I did a lot of anthology books, and then I kind of got to a point where I took a break from that and just wanted to work on an actual book, regular series.
Yeah.
Plus me hounding him to work on a regular series.
Oh, he did. He was pretty persistent. I couldn't shake this guy. So how about you?
I was a journalist. I wrote journalism. I took journalism in high school. That was my major thing, and so I was writing back then short stories and news articles and stuff like that. And eventually, I started playing in bands and writing songs. I got into a lot of the beat writers. I got into Bukowski and stuff like that. And but I was always collecting comics since I was like 5 years old. My uncle used to bring me stacks of comics from his job. He used to deliver comics to different shops and stuff. So I was reading, Black Panther and Ghost Rider and stuff when I was, 7 and 8 years old. Um, but after I got out of high school, I just wanted to play rock and roll, and I did that for a bunch of years. But I was still reading comics. And I was still writing short stories, and one thing led to another. And once I saw Keith's comic artist group, I started just kind of picking my way in there, trying to
Uh,
do some creative with them.
that's great. I actually remember when that started, but um, because I remember KJ, you and I used to talk a little bit about me coming out, but it was located in Connecticut, right? Your meetings, and
yeah, we had them in New York and Connecticut,
yeah.
Massachusetts. Yeah.
But I remember the ones that I talked to you about were always in Connecticut, and it was always on nights I worked. And so I could never come out. So I never got involved with that, even though I have a few friends that were part of it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the comic Torn. I remember you coming on talking about Torn. That was a really, I remember that was a really good story. Now I haven't read either books because of just my finances and Kickstarters and not being. So I'm hoping to see you guys at a show one day where I can pick these books up from you guys. So when you guys have a show, if you want to announce you're doing anything coming up, or
Baltimore, we're going to be.
Yep, we're going to be in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be at that one. But you guys go and get the books. I mean, it's it's.
Are you in New Jersey?
No, I'm in New York.
Oh, okay. Where in New York? Or do you
I don't want to say it online, but I'm not. I'm living. I live close to New York City. That's the best I'll say. I'm kind of very close to New York City.
Wow.
So, but yeah. So yeah, no. But I just know I can't go to Baltimore. I think there's another thing going on that weekend for me.
Halloween.
But, oh, that's the Halloween weekend. Okay. No. I have another. I do have another show in Credicon happening in Dutchess County. Is going on. That's actually put on by, I don't know if you guys know Mike Lopez. Mike and I used to do Incredicon together, but it was a little too much for me, so I kind of took a step back. But when he has a show and I have a free schedule, I go up and I do Incredicon, and we're gonna have some cool artists up there. Just for the audience, if you're in the Dutchess County area, I don't have the exact address on me right now, but it's at a local school, and I'm going not just with my artwork, but with a bunch of toys I want to get rid of, and a lot unopened.
Yeah, don't listen.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't like toys, right, Keith?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
He's in recovery.
Well, if you ever want me to send you anything before my list before I go, I'm happy to. Anyway, so Torn you mentioned was a Wendigo story. So, and it was, I forget though. Was it a modern day or was it in the past?
It was a modern day, but it had some flashbacks to the past. Yeah, like King's Philip era, this frontiers, a tracker kind of merchant, mercenary, who basically wronged this tribe and was cursed and became the creature, and then slept, and then woke up in present day and ends up helping this girl, and with this Russian mafia tie-in, ends up battling the Russian mob. Yeah. So
when's that going to be on Netflix? I think that should be on
right, sure. I think I want to redraw the whole thing, honestly.
Oh, really? Oh man, because that sounds first of all, that sounds like a fun story. Number one. Number two, though, I remember your art. Okay, I like it. So I wouldn't go back and redraw. Everyone goes back and look at their work and says, "This is terrible. I want to redraw it," or they don't fit. And this happens to a lot of artists, and I've fallen into this trap. Maybe it's happened to you, but as I'm drawing it, my style changes a little bit, and then I'm like, well, now the book in the first 20 pages I drew don't look like it, and you want to go back and redraw or something, and it happens to me. We got someone in there saying looking forward to seeing you in Credicon. He comes up as Facebook user, but I believe that is Joe Ryan watching. So thank you for watching. I'll see you at Incredicon. So Torn inspired Road to Valhalla, correct?
Yeah. So what happened was I had finished that book. It was like a 68-page one-shot book, and it had a start, middle, and conclusion. And I was like, I don't think I'm done with this whole Native American Wendigo kind of folklore. And I approached John, and I think at the time Vikings the show was pretty popular, and we were talking about maybe doing a Viking type of book with the Wendigo, and there were some other elements that John was kind of excited about doing, and it just seemed like it was all too much. And we started doing some pages, and then we just shelved it for years. It probably was year 2012 or 13,
Yeah.
and then we revisited it just before COVID, and we were starting to really talk about the story again and revamp it, and we were getting ready to do it, and then unfortunately COVID hit, and I was stuck at home, and I was going through a lot of stress with issues with my family, and even before COVID, and I was being stretched thin and stressed out, and I said, John, I want to get together and keep doing this stuff, but he was just like really kind and said, just do what you can, draw some of these Viking characters, and and just do what and it was what I needed to hear. So I was like, yeah, he's right. I'm just going to stay home and draw these Vikings and start working on the concept art, and that's how it started. And I kept drawing every day, working on it, and we just kind of worked from there on Road to Valhalla. I'm full steam ahead with the idea of making the book come out later that year.
Yeah.
During COVID.
No, that's great. As sucky as COVID was, or still is,
Yeah.
that year home for most people was one of the best things creatively.
Yeah.
I know for me, it wasn't great because I ended up sick. I
You
did
were
have
really
COVID,
ill, yeah.
and yeah, I have a lot of all my medical issues. It just COVID hit me. Was it everything started in early 2020?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would by end of April, beginning of May, I had COVID,
Wow.
and then it took me literally months to fully recover. I would say almost a full year or so, and then I've had side effects of things from that. One of them being a surgery I just recently had in January, and yeah, I'm doing great now. But it was because a side effect of COVID affecting other things that I have wrong with me. So COVID really messed up stuff, but
Wow.
for a lot of people. But it's I'm happy it's not in me anymore. But yeah, no, it became a very creative time for a lot of people, and that's when I started the podcast because I miss talking to artists, like
Yeah.
going to shows, hanging out with my friends, and I was lucky enough to have you come on. I believe it was in 2020.
It was
or
that summer,
2020.
I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was camping in the middle of COVID, because that's all we could do is go camping, and I think I think let's go do the podcast when I get back.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you came on, Ben, because it introduced me to stuff I wasn't aware of. This is one of the great things about doing the show and bringing my guests on. As an indie creator myself, I like to promote that stuff. That I like to also see what's out there. So I'm always out looking what's going on. Actually, today I was on Indie Planet, looking just at comics and seeing what looks interesting to me.
Yeah.
And then this way, if I like something, I'll reach out to the creators. Which, by the way, this isn't on Indie Planet or any site like that, right?
No, we've been pretty much exclusively on Kickstarter, and the plan is to make a trade with the 3 issues and then put it everywhere at some point, and
Okay.
really get it out there.
We were a little slow behind for with Kickstarter. It took us a little while to get.
There was a
to
learning curve, yeah, and we're building it up, but now we've kind of I think we figured something out, because this is our 3rd launch. So
Yeah. Well, you're doing really well based on what I see here.
Thank you.
I'm what was I gonna, I just wanted to say I've never done a Kickstarter, but I know from talking with people how insane it can be, and
Yeah.
every Kickstarter, even though you've done one, is always a little different, and
Yeah.
And it should be interesting to I plan to do one in the future, so I'll be talking to a lot of my friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do more.
I might have to reach out to you guys and.
Well, it's you're getting almost 100% of the profit. I mean, you have to throw in a small percentage to the Kickstarter engine, but it's like 5% or something. But then you get the profits outweigh the like instead of basically it's better than having a middleman for sure.
Yeah, so let's get back to your comic. So we went from Torn, which was a Wendigo story, which inspired Road to Valhalla. Now,
Mhm.
you were saying how John was telling you, draw Vikings, and the show was popular, which I still haven't finished, but it's on my list of things to watch at some
Yeah,
point. It was a fantastic show.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but so let me end because John, you're the writer.
Hmm.
Were you the one who came up with the Road to Valhalla concept, or was that KJ?
Keith came up with the name,
Mhm.
and of course he had he wanted Wendigos and he wanted Vikings, and I was a Viking enthusiast anyway.
Mhm.
I'm fascinated by anything. I'm a big history buff,
Yeah,
and
same here.
so I was already I already had ideas of Vikings, and there was a Vikings book I think put out by maybe Vertigo that I thought was great. So I was my head was in Vikings at that time quite a bit. And so when Keith said he wanted Vikings, I just said, "Oh, here's a list of characters, and this is what they each do." And I found pictures of what looked like maybe Vikings or whatever, maybe bikers, whatever. And I sent them to him, and I said, try drawing these guys, put them in some Viking gear. I sent them some reference for the gear, and he just went at it.
Well, I have to say, what you did was very nice here. I like, I like what I'm seeing here. I wanted to see if I could play this. Sometimes I have trouble with sound 'cause I'm on a Mac,
Okay.
with sharing sound on StreamYard. So, but everything is set correctly. So I was hoping to play this. If you don't hear the sound, let me know. All
Okay.
right, because I know I'll hear it.
There's no sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be some guitar licks playing.
Yeah. Yeah. My son did the music,
I can't.
and he did the video actually, but it looks good.
Yeah, well, the visuals, you have music playing in your head.
I do. I'm remembering it. Yeah. So you can hear the music with your headphones on?
He can't hear us.
Oh, he can't hear us because
Yeah.
it's playing? Okay.
It's all right.
Can the audience hear us?
Oh, maybe.
Those two guys are just talking.
They're just talking. What's going on here?
Damn, that kid is good.
Yeah, he did a good job at the end there. Yeah, and then bringing the logo back up.
Yeah.
Okay. That was just the rest was black, correct?
Yeah, we couldn't hear it though. I know you heard it.
Oh, I could. Yeah, I heard it was very loud, which is why I couldn't
Yeah.
hear you guys. I heard little sounds in the background. Okay, sorry, I got some comments. So Dylan, he says hello and asks who are the two guests. It's KJ and John. As you can see, and the name of the comic is called Road to Valhalla.
On
So thank you
Kickstarter
for
now. Yeah.
tuning in. Yes, on Kickstarter now. For 20 more days, you can back. Let's take a look. I always go on the wrong screen to do this. Hold on, sorry. So the story, you were kind of, we didn't really go into the story. You wanna share the
Yeah.
concept?
Yeah, sure. It's about these two brothers, and there was a lot of mass migration out of a lot of the Viking countries at near the end when Christianity was coming in. And the older brother, who was kind of the head warrior of the tribe, decides to take his little crew, his little raiding crew, and go and try and colonize someplace like Iceland or Greenland. But he gets there, and those places aren't any better than where he was. So he ends up finding his way to the New World here, and tries to make a go of it, and doesn't go so well for him. But he, while in the time that he was there, he was trading and he was sending people back to his father, who was the leader of their village, their tribe, and he was sending stuff back and trading with them and helping enrich the old man. And when they stopped hearing from him, so he sends Bran, his younger brother, with a crew of people from the village out to find the older brother and see what happened to him and his people. and they find monsters
Interesting.
And indigenous
and
people.
indigenous people. Yes.
That's the tie-in to the Indian, the Native American
Yep.
folklore.
The natives. Yep.
They find out the rescue party finds out that there's Wendigos there, multiple Wendigos, and they find out what happened to some of these people that, without spoiling it, some of these people turned into Wendigos, and that's kind of what they're dealing with.
Now, for those who don't know, can you explain what a Wendigo is?
Well, it's sort of like a Bigfoot, but like a cross between like a Bigfoot and a werewolf, I guess.
Yeah, I
Does that
think
sound right?
it was the Indian version of a cursed spirit that's doomed to kind of consume human flesh, and kind of like a kind of a cross between a vampire werewolf thing, but it was gaunt, and it was it was, there's no cure to it. You become basically a kind of a doomed.
Yeah, slave to the
Yeah.
thirst. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you guys know, I just added the link to the Kickstarter in the chat, so you guys can go. You guys at home watching, or wherever you're watching from, can go and click the link. Now, who will love Road to Valhalla? Viking mythology. I think that sounds fun. Tales about Wendigos. Sounds fun. Complex and compelling characters again. And heartfelt dramas and violent thrillers. I like that. So this book obviously is not kid friendly, correct?
No.
No, it's kind of dark just from the cover alone, right there.
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm gonna
Hector
say-
Rodriguez's cover.
Yeah.
Really, that's gorgeous.
Yep. Hector is great for that stuff. Yes, he inspired us quite a bit with those covers.
Yeah, it's gorgeous stuff. So let's take a look at some of the rewards here. So
Well,
You
the
get
other
this-
books.
standard print you start with though for $8. Go to 15, you get the final issue in digital format plus the first two. Oh, cool. So if you guys want to read all 3 issues, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
If you get the deluxe bundle, it's got some additional prose stories in them as well from me.
Some concept art as well.
Yep.
Cool. So
Early
this
days.
one right here, the 3 digital deluxe books,
Yep.
Mhm.
each get concept art and prose for diehard fans. Are your prose stories in the same like genre or?
There are these characters.
Oh,
There are
so you
other
wrote.
stories about these same characters. Yeah.
Oh, so you wrote interesting. Okay, cool. I didn't know you did that. It's great.
Yeah. Well, we just put them in a deluxe book
Mhm.
for now. We'll see what happens with the trade. There will probably be a Road to Valhalla like short story collection somewhere along the way sooner or later.
That sounds great. I mean, well, once you have this, I mean, the trade is easy to put together.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you're just going to figure out what extras you're going to add to it.
Right.
So for 36, get all 3 standard print edition. Okay, that's 1/3. You also get an RTV hologram sticker and trading card plus 3 digital deluxe copies. And so this, you're getting all 3 printed plus this tier basically, right? With the nice. Both a few variants. I have to say, I did really enjoy, like when I look at the top here, I can't do it now because the screen, I'd have to refresh. But the way you have what I did in photo, the picture you sent me in Photoshop, where it's your 2 covers, they kind of connect together.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that look right there. Every time I see it, I stop and look at it.
Yeah.
So this would be the print of it right here. Includes the mini print. Both
Yeah,
covers.
so there are going to be 2 variant covers that you can put together and make the one image. So the idea is to collect both covers so you can have them together.
It's nice. Wow.
Mhm.
I'm just loving the art.
Thank you.
For 80, you get original art along with the previous stuff.
Well, that's a sketch cover, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is it sketch
that's
cover?
the-
Did I
Yep,
miss that?
blank sketch cover. We either Hector or myself will draw whatever you want on there within reason.
Yeah. This is whose art is this? Is this yours or?
That's mine.
Keith,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did that during a con. John was like, "Hey, man, why don't you have the Vikings raiding a monastery?" I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." So we
No,
kind of
it's gorgeous. I just wish I could zoom in more without losing quality. This is a
yeah.
website. I would love like these are things when I mean you know me when it comes to art I just geek out all the time. So wow. So available 600. The drawing will be in a marker drawing whatever your heart desires. Oh, from Hector. Oh, or you. Cool.
Commissions. Yeah.
Yeah, commission piece. That's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. And I'm loving the art. This is a nice piece right here. Well, these are two separate. I don't think they don't connect, right?
Which one?
I'm just looking in the box.
Hector's?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing on Hector's connects except for he's got a picture of his stuff, that same cover from before, which is Keith's on the left, but on the right, that's all Hector's stuff, and none of that connects. No.
Nah. Okay. It's just beautiful art.
Yeah, he's something else, isn't he? Hopefully, we're going to be getting a book from him.
That'd be nice. I'd have to get him on my show and talk to him.
Definitely.
I'm sure he would be down. Yeah.
Yeah. So for 120, you get it all.
Yep.
Now, yeah, I was going to ask. Are these?
That's like all the GWP stuff so far.
Yeah, there's Martin Chase Human Weapon that he did, and then Key Holders, which is kind of a one shot. Those are his two books in there, and then you got some of my little mini art books. You got the original Torn book. You got all 3 Road to Valhalla's, and then you got Hector's Hell's Blood trade in there.
Nice.
Make trading cards for this one, and then Feelings Field Guide and Battle at Granny's is something John and I kind of worked on together.
What is this one? It's called
Feelings Field Guide. Sort of like think of the old Dungeons and Dragons monster manual, but you attach feelings to the monsters, so it's something for kids to look at and kind of identify with different creatures going through different emotions, that kind of thing. Kind of their attributes.
Yeah, no, that's nice. I like that concept. I think that's great. And
Battle at Granny's is more of a straightforward kid book.
Battle at Granny. I feel like I've seen that one.
Yeah, I think you had downloaded it or you had looked at it when we did the first
interview.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still get people asking us to do more kids books.
That's great. I think kids books are great. I have a book I'm getting ready to publish. I don't know if I ever mentioned it to you, but it's a kids book, and I was going through Ingram Sparks to publish, and I'm having an issue with my cover being accepted. Oh. Even though I'm meeting all the right dimensions and everything, it just keeps rejecting my cover for some reason. So I got to try to figure that out. I just haven't had a chance to. So
it's always something.
Yeah, but I love children's books. I collect them. I just bought some Hanna-Barbera children's books the other day off eBay.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because I'm just a geek for Hanna-Barbera stuff. But let me just go to the comments. I see one. Let's see, what is it? Oh, Dylan, you're asking for something with animators. I will one day do animators, but all my shows are booked in advance, and I'm booked until the new year. So I'd have to reach out and see if I could even get someone like him on. Anyway. So let's keep going. You get to be part of your new book for 190. And what does this give you now? Do you have your new book already? In production?
No, it's we've got 12 pages of the first story, and then we got another 6 to 8 pages of a backup story that I'm going to be drawing, and it's called right now it's tentatively titled Yokai. Japanese for monster. So that's our next big book. Yeah.
So it's going to be more in in the vein of like a Godzilla story, or
no? It's going to be kind of like a folkloric,
supernatural.
A lot of folklore characters.
Okay.
From Japan. It takes place at the end of the samurai's existence, so to speak.
Okay.
At that time, 1897.
Yeah.
We'll have some more traditional monsters in there. Yeah, against the Japanese folklore monsters.
That was great. I actually love Japanese mythology. There was a company I worked for where they asked me to teach manga to kids, and the whole thing was on based on their mythology and folklore for
Ah,
like the lesson plan they designed. So I always knew just a little bit about it, but I didn't know enough until I went in there and started reading and having to learn about all these gods and all this stuff for different villages and whatnot. I was like, wow, this is fantastic
it's
stuff.
dense. Yeah, it's very much like the Viking thing, but the Viking stuff is more vague because they're not sure of it. But
Yeah,
the Japanese stuff is well documented.
yeah, definitely.
Keith's gonna be drawing the slit faced girl. I know she's got a name, but I can't remember it.
Yeah, well, they all have Japanese names.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
hard to. So, but yeah, it's I'll tell you right now, I look forward to that book too.
Thank you.
300 only one available. Oh, original art. So when you get, oh, you get the actual cover art.
Yep. Yep. We
Now,
sold the first two covers for book 1 and book 2. So this is book 3's cover up for grabs.
nice. And when you get the original art, is it black and white or colored?
It's black and white,
Black and
which
white.
I should have had a black and white image up, but we just threw a color image up.
No, it's okay. I get it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
just curious how, because it's the way things are done these days. Cross between traditional and digital all the time. You never know how pieces
Yeah.
are, but if it's all digital, it's just print. Um,
Somebody wants that, we'll give them the print with the art.
yeah, that's great. I've been working so digital right now. I do miss having the actual original artwork and pages and stuff. I just don't have a place to keep
Right.
my work anymore. And I'm not. And by the way, when I look down, I know KJ, but John, I have my Cintiq in front of me. I'm using it as an extra monitor. And I'm looking at the Kickstarter right now. So it's not like I'm ignoring you when I look at it. I'm too shy. I'm doing what I'm doing here. But yeah, I'm on this thing all the time. I got my iPad Pro. I draw constantly. But I will say I do draw. I get ideas.
Analog,
I get ideas. Like I have this was me on my spare time. I know you can't really see, but just kind of I want to do a Sherlock Holmes piece for fun. Getting out ideas here. Let's see here. I was going to draw the Flash today, and then I stopped, so I have like the guy running. But all I do is I take a shot of this with my phone and airdrop it over to either my Mac or my iPad, and everything else becomes digital. So I have nothing left of of like real traditional art as things I can sell. So when I see that stuff, I get excited. When I go to cons, usually can't afford it, but I always look at the original art. I think that's something.
Oh yeah, it's hard to ignore. Yeah. I airdrop stuff to Keith all the time. Keith, draw this. Keith, fix this.
Only alternate. Oh, so this is two covers together.
Yeah. Well, it's one piece of art actually. It just made to look like it. Well, it was meant to be separated.
What size did you draw that at then, if you don't mind me asking?
I want to say it was probably a 20 by 17 or something like that.
Okay. Wow. I just love the piece. It's gorgeous. And then Road to Valhalla.
You don't have a pencil of that on there, do you? Of the art from that?
No, it was black and white. I have the art. I just don't have a picture.
Yeah. So you should stick on it too.
So with this, this is you just putting them together. It's not a wrap.
Yeah, I just kind of did a quick mock-up.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just looking, man. This stuff is great. Great stuff here. I love this. Is this Hector's work too?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. He did two of the covers. This is the book 2 cover. I don't know.
Hold on, let me give you the screen here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. It's a little.
It's a hologram
in the
cover,
bag. Yeah. Oh, it's a hologram. It's the hologram one.
And then this is the wraparound that I did. for book 2.
Nice.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
well, this is book 1. You probably have seen that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is nice. But
Yeah.
I'm serious. I love it. I like. I when I see this, like I said, I can't wait to see you guys at a show and get this stuff.
Yeah.
I wish I could afford to back all these books or all
It's
these great
expensive.
things.
There's like 20 people I know on Kickstarter right now, and I'm trying to back them all, and it's just getting, when the bill comes due, it's rough, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm very, very big. At one point, I was backing almost everybody that was coming on the show because I wanted to support everybody, and then I'm like, oh, I can't afford things right now because so I had to stop. But man, I will say I got a lot of great comics that I read, and there's still some that I haven't that are on my bookshelf over there.
And then this is stack of those,
yeah. Oh, I just went to my local comic shop the other day and bought a bunch of books I haven't read yet. So it just kind of went into the pile, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, this is gorgeous. So this is the Wendigo here.
Yes, yeah, they're all various Wendigos, yeah. Or issue 2 and 3, anyway, right?
Right.
Issue 1's the skull.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the stuff. You know, I used to love to draw trees. That's another thing I'm looking at. Trees were some of my favorite things to draw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Hector showed us that cover, the pencils without the logo on it, the work he put into those trees was amazing. It was like almost like give you the feel of being in the forest.
Yeah,
just looking at it.
Wow, it's just it's beautiful, and I love the composition behind it. And
yeah, he's detail obsessive.
I wish I was. My stuff looks like you're looking at like an '80s cartoon or something.
Well, that's cool.
That's good. There's a place for that too. Yeah.
I can. I don't know if you guys saw my Doc Savage I posted on social media.
No, I don't.
I feel like it would have been a cover to like a DVD, like a VHS tape back in the '80s. You know.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous.
Somebody needs to bring that back in a good way.
What?
Doc Savage?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I follow
Dynamite
a lot of like
right.
What?
Dynamite did it not that well, a couple years ago.
I don't know if Dynamite used it. Well, they may have. Doc Savage, I just recently found out. I thought he was in public domain. Like not everything about him, but his early books. But it turns out his early books aren't even in public domain. Wow. And that's one of the reasons I drew him, because I'm a big fan of like public domain characters.
Sure, yeah.
And I wanted to do a piece that I thought would be a nice piece. It's public domain. It turns out that like what I do, because when I go to shows, and it's nothing against anyone who does this, but I don't like to sell prints of characters I haven't worked on. Okay. So my thing is, I'm going to a show, I'm selling my comics, I'm building my brand. I'm not trying to sell another Spider-Man print, you know?
Sure.
So I do like, you know, in the public domain, you got characters like in mythology, like King Arthur, and you got Robin Hood, and you got all these great characters, not to mention the superheroes and stuff that came out of the 40s and 50s that never went anywhere, like the American Crusader or someone like that.
Right.
It just, so like I like to draw those characters. I know it doesn't get a lot of attention, so I don't usually make up like a lot of prints of them, but it's just I would prefer to be doing public domain stuff at the shows to sell prints of rather than someone else's piece. So I thought I would actually, you know, take the Doc Savage piece and use it at the pulp cut. So I'm just going to use it as an advertising piece, because I now know, since he's not in public domain, I won't sell him. But I'll show you guys the piece later. We don't need to do it on air, but I'll show you off air. But yeah, anyway, getting back to I don't want to be sidetracked a little too much here, but this right here, gorgeous. Whose work is this?
That's Eddie Newall's work, yeah. So
I
I
love
got him. I commissioned him to do that cover.
Why do I know Eddie's name?
It's been around since the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
I'm blanking right now as to what things he
What
worked
he's done, yeah.
on.
I like it though a lot.
Oh yeah, no, I saw his art and I was like, I just asked him if he was available. He said he was looking for commission work, and he said he was available. And
That's awesome.
yeah,
It's great when things happen like that.
oh yeah,
Here's your sticker set.
yeah. Everyone likes the stickers.
Yeah. I love these though.
Yeah, I haven't made any new sets in quite a while. I just kind of got burned out on stickers, but they always sell, and I always end up going home with them.
Everybody loves stickers.
It's the
except
low.
Keith.
No, it's just the low lying fruit, and I just wasn't really, I wasn't getting into comics to make stickers. You know what I mean? But it's a nice low tier for people that don't have a lot of money and they just want to go home with something. And
sometimes it stops them at the table and they'll look at the stickers, and the next thing you know, they're looking at the covers. Next thing you know, they have the book in their hand.
Yeah.
So
it's funny though how this is such a cutesy style, which I love because I have my own version of that. I think every artist does.
Like a cheesy kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then, which kids would be attracted to. But then they're coming up and looking at your book that is not so kid friendly.
Yeah,
that's the dilemma. Yeah,
it's kind of hysterical.
That's why we started doing some kids books. We didn't have any of the kids books.
That's true. Yeah. Sometimes the kids, they see the monsters and suddenly kids books aren't all that interesting.
Well, the kids
want the monsters.
Listen, kids love to be scared. They love monsters and stuff. It's just the degree of the interior of the book that would, how it is to scare them. Listen, who was it that did? It was Ed Gorey, right? You look at his work. If you're not familiar with him, very much. Oh man, I wish I could pull the book out right now. But Ed Gorey was an illustrator. A lot of like pen and ink. I think he did some like wood carvings too. But
yeah, name rings a bell.
He's done some kids books, but it wasn't. It's not what you would normally think. It was like a if you want to call it a horror or something for kids. His stuff was fantastic. I know he did a lot of ink work, but I don't know if he did the wood carvings. It might just have reminded me of wood carvings. And there was this great story, and I'm sorry to sidetrack. I think you guys might enjoy this story since like into folklore and stuff like that. When I was in college, I took a children's book making class, like whatever you want to call it, and it was taught by Frida Gates, and Frida was the head of the Society of Children's Book Authors and Writers, and illustrators or whatever it's called. So she actually legitimately had the book. She wrote the book, and in the book she told the story about it in New England, because this was like how children's stories were developed and things. They were always meant to basically teach a lesson. In the old days, they were a bit scary, right? There was this early settlement in New England. I want to say late 16, maybe 1700s it was. And the art was illustrated by wood carvings. It could have been a little later. But basically what happened was there was this guy, and his son was about 5 years old, and he kept sucking his thumb. So he created a character that would come to kids after a certain age and cut their thumbs off if they continue to suck their thumb.
Oh, we should do that.
And I just remember, like, I know where the book is, but it would be hard to find the page it's on. But the wood carvings were just, it was this little like cartoon, whatever the style was back then. It was considered cartoony, but it was from a New England like early settlement type of stuff, because the father was basically embarrassed
Mm.
You know? And I always thought that, and it just kind of branched into other kinds of dark stories that came out of New England settlements.
Hmm.
It was very interesting. But yeah, that was
Something out of Grimm's fairy tales,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I mean, I
I
thought
like that here in New England.
Certain towns still do it.
Yeah, deep in the
Yeah.
woods. Yeah.
Dylan asked if those are stickers. Yes, those are stickers. Let's keep moving down and seeing what we got. We got a T-shirt here, right?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, there's only 4 left. Yeah, they're limited edition Hector special Mario meets Walking Dead crossover shirts. He was gracious enough to donate 5 to the cause, and yeah.
And that picture of himself wearing it.
Oh yeah, he's
So-
very GQ there. The sunglasses on inside.
I like the shirt a lot. This is
Yeah,
what I was
no,
actually thinking of doing with the Doc Savage, since I can't do anything with it. Was just put it on a shirt for me.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. You could make a shirt. That's cool.
Yeah.
He's got prints of that, so you can
nice.
get that.
And this is your work now,
Those
interior.
are the pages for Road to Valhalla 3.
Yep,
Yeah.
first couple pages.
Now, is this digitally colored, or did you watercolor this?
Digital colored. Yeah, I did a kind of underpainting, kind of a watercolor technique where I do a little wash, little marker, a little colored pencil work in there, so it has sort of some tooth to it, some built up opacity that way. And then we have really brilliant colorist Sean Lee, who just goes over my stuff and does his thing with it, and it's a nice match.
Yeah.
Between Well, anything he colors is really cool. Anyway, he does really wonderful things with Hector's work.
Mm-hmm. He did a great job with this book and the last one.
Yeah, I'm just looking. This is where my real geeking out is going to start. Just
Yeah,
letting you know that right now. I'm just looking at the pose, the face, everything. It's just
hmm
to
yeah, it's a
capture.
little direction from John. He's not really just a writer. He's kind of like an art director in a past life. He kind of he kind of says, "This is what I want on this page," and then
He's an art dictator.
and then he'll sometimes find really great reference for things, and sometimes I just kind of wing it and come up with something. And it's kind of a nice. It's nice when your writer gives you visuals and says, hey, "Try to make it look like this," or "Here's an idea." And then
This is what I thought.
yeah, John's pretty good at it, and it kind of springboards me into kind of sharing the vision visually and playing around with it.
It's great when you have like a working partner that works so well together. Or you guys can just kind of you balance each other. It seems,
Yeah, it
and
took us a while, yeah, to get there. We had a few books that we worked on together, and I didn't really understand John's process initially, and now I really kind of respect what he does, and I get it. I get it fully now.
yeah, that's
And if he screws it up, he's got to buy the next round.
Oh, that's what it is. I buy anyway.
You do. It's
I'm
too
always.
You're
paying.
always reaching for that wallet. Yeah. You're quick with it. Quick draw.
I love how what's his name, Sean, you said, is the
Sean Lee, yeah.
yeah, the way he lights with the fire. Lighting
Mhm.
scenes with fire is one of the most difficult things for me
Oh
because
yeah.
of the way it just spreads out in the light.
Mhm. Yeah. It's got a glow. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was really good about asking for instructions that, exactly what we were looking for. And yeah, sometimes you think to yourself, oh, okay, it's going off to the colorist. Well, he's obviously holding a torch. He can figure it out. But
Mhm.
it's not quite that simple. The more instructions you can give, the better, color you're going to get.
Yeah. I'm liking just again with it kind of goes into the lighting, but just how even up here everyone's like different. You could even though they're in shadow, you can kind of tell there's a little detail about them just because you got good silhouettes on them.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we wanted it to feel like they were, in a little cave, stuck in
Yeah.
a little space, and I think that worked out. Yeah.
Do you use a lot of reference when you draw?
Yeah, I think John had sent me like a couple shots of someone holding a sword, like in that pose, in one or two of those poses. So I pretty much just work from some of the photo references. The monsters, not so much. The monsters, unfortunately, you don't have photo references from,
Yeah.
so that you have to wing it. But yeah, so, John's usually good about, if there's a page I don't know what to put in it, or work in it, he'll find some kind of photo reference usually.
Good stick figure drawer too. So
Yeah,
I'll
no,
throw the stick figures together and say, "Oh, look at
definitely.
this. Maybe
John,
this."
yeah,
should-
John will just kind of bang out little sketches, and then I'll, sometimes work right from the sketches.
That's actually a pretty good way of working. I've had on the show a bunch of times. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Fugitive Poems.
Who?
Fugitive Poems. That's the company name.
Hmm.
It's Christian DiMatteo and James Lyons. Both people I've worked with. Christian is the writer. James is the artist. But uh, they work very well together, like you guys do. But Christian will send little thumbnail crappy stick figure drawings to him and say, make this real, like that's how he will sometimes write. He said, I remember talking to him once, and he said when he was in college and he got stuck writing, and he was talking to his teacher. The teacher told him, draw your story, and he said, I can't draw. The teacher said, it doesn't matter, and he went home and he illustrated whatever story he was doing, and he just did it in little boxes because he knew comics. He grew up reading, and he drew little stick figures and little triangles for a tree or whatever, like little shapes. And he said it helped him out so much that now when he's writing comics or plotting a story, he will go to that method. I believe I don't know if he does. Yeah, it's a very interesting thought process because I can't write prose well. I try. I fail every time. I continue to try because I do want to write a book. It's a story I have that I want in book form.
Well, there's no failure really. It's just
Yeah.
a step. It's just another step.
No, I get it. No, I'm saying I fail because I don't know how to write well. But I could write scripts. I could write like comics very well. So I've tried to do that process because I think visually, and then I end up just writing a comic, and a lot of my comics end up being little boxes on a page, and just kind of storyboarding as I write.
Nothing wrong with that.
But wow, sorry, I got to go through all the pages here.
Yeah.
This is just beautiful. Look at this. The blood just coming out of this guy here in the motion. Wow. But I really love your take on Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel the research that went in. You guys put research into to make them really believable. It's not just you making up. I think this is what a Native American will look like.
No, definitely not. I think Native Americans have had enough disrespect, foisted upon them. Well, we don't want to add to that.
Yeah, I tend to. I tend to do the same thing when I look at when I draw Native American, like this right here, just gorgeous. Just the hair, I can see the hair. Is that hair coming off? Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of them have
like a
feathers
mohawk or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could render hair that nicely. Interesting. Wow. Dude, I just love your work. I mean, I'm going to read this later just because I'll really get into it and we'll stop the show. But but dude, this stuff, man, just look at it. Look at this page. Oh man, I love this one right here. Wait, is that a horn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love how the head has this like skull-like appearance
Mm.
to it.
Yeah, they were fun.
Yeah, I could tell. It just
Yes,
I
you
just
can, right? Yeah.
yeah. This is one of those books, and I like to see this, and I don't see this in every book, where even though I could know when you're using reference, it just that could be a little annoying at times, but it just looks at the like just the love on every page. You thoroughly enjoyed this, you
Mhm.
know. I'm not saying there weren't stressful times. I'm not saying there weren't times you were erasing and going, cursing and stuff, because that happens to all of us.
Yeah, we did that. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, I can see the enjoyment and the love in the crafted in this story.
Oh yeah, and and we're lucky because Keith lives like a half hour from me,
That's
so
nice.
we're constantly getting together and regarding trying to put the story together, put the pages together, figure out exactly what's sticking, where's the sticking point, why isn't it, why
Yeah.
are we not feeling this one? So and luckily like I said, we were a half hour away. We could get the FaceTime to be able to figure it out as opposed to just texting and shit like that.
Yeah. This is really nice stuff here. So, and then this is the creative team. You are John. Sean Lee. He's the colorist.
Yep. Mindy.
See, I haven't seen. I feel like I know Mindy, but
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't remember if she would remember me. Like we've been at shows together and stuff,
Yeah.
and we run in the same circles of people. But I don't know. It's been a long time.
Yeah, she usually walks the floor with her family, and then she does work for other companies. Like she does work for Billy Tucci's She Books, and
Yeah.
then a couple other companies that she's been
Didn't
helping.
she? Wasn't she a colorist at some point?
I don't think she did coloring
I
ever.
don't think.
No,
No. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
she does a lot
Maybe.
of pre-press, and she does lettering and
Okay.
logos and such.
Yeah, she's very handy, and you're lucky to know her. If you're lucky to have her in your corner. That's for sure.
That's great. Yeah, no, she. I remember meeting her. She was a very nice person.
And she's from
And
New York.
that's probably where I've seen her at all the shows in New York. Here.
Well, she lives in Connecticut now, but she was from New York. Yeah.
So the budget, and this just talks about what you do. You guys can go in and read that. So, man, you guys, if you love mythology, Viking mythology specifically, I would say Native American too in this.
Oh
Yeah, even more so probably
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
You guys, you love horror. Uh, I don't even know what else, man. This is just awesome. I'm having so
We like
much fun.
storytelling. We like telling,
good-
we like coming
good.
up with stuff. We like thinking about it, talking about it,
Yeah,
and that's how we ended up where we are. Is lots of that.
Yeah, wow. It's you guys listen. The tiers here are definitely doable.
Mhm.
Man, I want you guys out there and backing it. I
Yeah,
might
we're
be
getting-
backing it myself if I can.
Yeah, no, that's cool. We're getting close though. We're getting really close, and it's a 2,500 funding goal, and I think we just hit 2,000 a day.
I think we're at 21.
Oh, 21.
Yeah. Well, let's see if there's been any more since the show began. Let's hit a refresh.
Yes,
Sure.
everybody likes to refresh.
And then
Whoops, wrong screen. Hold on, I was on
we're
your
closing
screen.
in on 50 something backers, and at 65 backers, we're gonna give everyone a Road to Valhalla insignia coaster, and then we're gonna give everyone a digital art book I'm making, and then
That's awesome.
the stretch goal is the insignia coaster. So
Right.
we're getting close to that.
Yeah.
Those goals.
Well, I will say there's a lot I
Posters,
want
they're
on.
important.
Yeah.
Especially if they look cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot I want on this. Man, so cool. Well, guys, I think I don't have any more questions right now. Is there anything you guys want to discuss that we haven't hit upon that maybe people should know about your work, your books, things like that?
Yeah, we've got about 20 days left. So if anyone wants to get on board, this is the last crowdfunding we're going to do for this series in terms of individual issues. We might do a trade at some point, but I don't know if it's going to be on Kickstarter. We're not sure yet. We're going to explore their options, but yeah, and then we're going to be working on yokai, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, we're already about almost knee deep in yokai, so.
So yeah, we're going to keep going on to the next thing.
And just how long does it take you to put a book together?
Well, from start to finish, the story,
varies, but 2 or 3 months.
Couple months, yeah.
So you find time to work daily then to draw?
It's sort of weird. I have kind of a weird job where if people don't show up, I can draw for a little bit during the day, but it would either happen mostly at night or on the weekends. I would do the art.
Yeah, I gotta say, because it's just inspiring to me because I haven't been able to put anything out in a while.
It's hard.
And, now I have a new work schedule, and it's like, yeah, I know I can put stuff out. I just still adjusting to it.
Yeah,
sure.
That I haven't had a chance to do stuff. But I have a 12-page comic I want to finish, and I have another comic I want to finish, and I got a few animations I'm working on. It's just all I want to sit down and just start doing that.
My suggestion to anybody is just pick the one that you care about the most and just do that till it's done. That's how I work now. I can't do a bunch of things all at once. I have to do one thing at a time, and then it gets done, and then I can go to the next thing.
Well, that's it. Like I know for a fact I'm finishing my comics before I officially start animating.
Yeah.
But on my free time, like on weekends, if I'm not drawing my comic, I'm usually doing character designs or background designs for the animations. This way, at least when I'm ready to go, everything is still set up for me.
Yeah,
but,
it's tricky, but I think if you block out the time, if you only have an hour and a half, what can you do in an hour and a half? You can do something, anything.
Something's better than nothing.
That's right. It gives you something to build on the next hour and a half.
Yeah. It's actually one of the great things about working digitally for me because I have taken my iPad out places, and I have worked on pages on my iPad. And it's great that it allows me to do that. Another great reason to be digital, but man, there's nothing like pencil and paper.
The magic, yeah.
Hold on one second. We got another Dylan. He asked if we watched a video link. I didn't see him post a link. Well, Dylan, you're always welcome. Dylan, he's been watching and says he's an animator. So whenever you post a link, I'm happy to watch. I've always said that. But we're gonna wrap up in a moment. God, I wish I could talk to you guys more. I feel like I just want to BS with you about other stuff. I think we would just have fun talking about, whatever, give you guys a topic.
Maybe we should pull it together before Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Baltimore is Halloween weekend, right? The 29th and 30th.
Yeah. Yep.
Is it a 2-day or 3-day show? I forget.
3-day.
Friday.
3 days. So Friday, Saturday, and so the 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Yep.
Yeah. It's nice. That's a nice show.
Cool.
I've never been, but I've heard great things about the Baltimore show.
It's really one of those classic, straightforward comic book shows. There's no celebrity stuff really. There's no. Yeah. They have an art charity event or something, and they have nice. They have a little. They call it a yearbook, and where they have selected artists in this book, and that it's like a treasure hunt where you go around getting all the artists' signatures, and if you get them all in your book, you get some kind of prize or something.
Oh, that's nice.
Poster or a T-shirt or something.
Something, yeah, which is cool. It's the only show I think that we've been to that does that. And then, it's just got a long-standing history in Inner Harbor, Baltimore. As long as you stay on the reservation, you're fine, and it's fun. It's fun to go out if you can and have dinner and see the sights.
Well, I hope in the next year or two I can get to do that show. I just haven't. My thing is I haven't had a lot of product for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I'm now in the process of developing the product again.
Mhm.
And like that 12-page comic is going to go with another story I'm doing. It's basically going to be an anthology of my own stuff, and but yeah, no, anyway. um Again, like I said, we could BS for a while. We should end though, because it is an hour, and I'm the only one who works, I guess, on California time, so I'm going to be the one up till 1, 2 a.m. now.
Wow. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Anytime, you guys are welcome. Anytime, even if you don't have a book coming out and you want to come on the show, just let me know and we'll plan something, man. Had
Yeah,
a lot of fun talking. I'm going to drop you guys backstage and just do my closing, and I'll see you in a moment.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So that was KJ Murphey and John Escobales. Road to Valhalla on Kickstarter, fantastic. It you guys go back the book. The link is in the comments. I look forward to seeing you guys next week. I have let me see. I'm looking at my calendar next week. Next week, Buddy Scolar is scheduled to come on. So he was on a couple of weeks ago with Rob Anderson. He's coming back next week. I will see you guys then. You guys have a great rest of your day, week, or whatever it is for you guys. All right.